Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to vinnytortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at vinnytortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out rockstarleatherworks.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that band shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, halter tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsrocks.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for special offers and custom orders. Use the code IZZY25 for 25% off of your entire order at sasspantsrocks.com. That's sasspantsrocks.com. Let Sass Pants make you the envy of the party.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
So you're bored, are ya? I've come here to break your monotony. Let me have my piece, because I'm shooting with this one, folks. I don't care, man. The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary.
Why did you say that? Why? Why? You come out with stink like that? Poop. Poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
See, son? Old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum look a lot alike, Daddy.
I've got a midget friend, an albino friend, and another friend who thinks Lord of the Rings is real. Together we call ourselves the Unfuckables.
Quinton is in. Let the fun begin.
Body touch.
God, you're an asshole, man.
I've never heard of Van Halen.
Always good to be seen. Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast, special one-on-one edition, which I haven't done in a while. I'm rather excited about that. Actually, I did one last week with Chips Enough. I take that back. But I'm rather excited about it. We had a great Metallica conversation on Tuesday night. It was myself, Jacob Bunton from Neon Coven, Adler, and Lynam. We had Johnny Dwarf from Killer Dwarfs. We had DJ Will from KNAC. Who else do we have? Brian Liu, who wrote Murder in the Front Row, joined us late. And who else did we have? We had one more. Daniel DK from Exciter and Diamonds and Banger Film. So that was a good time. Next Tuesday night, we are doing the Kiss solo record, Drunken Summit. Rather excited about that one as well. We have Hal Sparks coming on. We have Ron Keel coming on. We have the guy from Earl Ray that just did that great Cherry Pie country cover coming on, and we have Dan Epstein from Rolling Stone Magazine returning to the show also. It's going to be a fucking great one. Make sure you guys hit up all the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, the show page is Another Effin' Podcast on Facebook. Hit that shop now button. Lots of great merch available for the show. And of course, for ACK, a tribute to Ace Frehley, my Ace Frehley tribute band. And if you want to donate to the show, you absolutely can. It is very, very easy. izzypresley@yahoo.com. If you like what I do, if you like what we do, donate, help, have fun. That's what it's all about. All right, bringing in on the Michael Brandvold Marketing Zoom line, we are bringing in Andrew Comeau, who you know from the very first season of The Real World on MTV, the show that kind of started reality TV. And he was in a band called Reigndance, or is it Reigndance?
Well, it was Reigndance, yeah.
Reigndance, okay, my bad. Like I said, the Michael Brandvold Marketing Zoom line. If you need help with your next release, contact Michael at michaelbrandvold.com. And he has worked with people like Accept. He cut his teeth working with Kiss, Ron Keel, Dream Theater, and a whole lot of other bands. Check it out, michaelbrandvoldmarketing.com. We were talking a little bit off the air. We got to get into the Kiss shit right away. Because I have an Ace Frehley tribute band. You were in a Kiss tribute band.
I was in a Kiss parody.
Parody. Okay, so it was a goof.
It was a total goof. We used to, we had Ace Frehley's replacement, Vinnie Vincent, waiting in the wings for when we fired Ace. We brought Vinnie up on stage. It was great. And Eric Singer was at, he was at our first show.
Really?
We only played a couple of shows. It's tough to do it with the makeup and everything when the return is not so great. Originally, we had, we were planning on doing shopping it out to colleges and seeing if we could get some, make some money doing it. But it fell apart.
Yeah. Well, that's how it always was. It out here in LA?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly. It's LA. That's how it happens. Like, dude, we got this great project. Sorry if I go to my Spash and Bach. It just comes out. Dude, we got this fucking project. It's going to be awesome. And you get everybody together and all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, it was fun. I got other shit to do.
With the makeup and everything, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of work. And, we've all got our own bands and projects. So to put so much effort into something that is just kind of a goof to begin with, I'm a huge fan, don't get me wrong, but this was intended to, the in-between stage banter was legendary. The fact that we got to the fire Ace and bring up Vinny was really, really cool.
Dude, that's great. Could you do the Paul voice?
I want to know. I got a question for you.
Oh, dude, that's fucking perfect. I love it. When did you fall in love with Kiss?
Oh, well, geez, I grew up in Detroit in the 70s. So, from the moment I was made aware of them, they were the first show I ever saw. The first concert I ever saw was Kiss with makeup before they ever took it off. On the Creatures of the Night.
Oh, you saw my Creatures. Oh, wow. So you saw it with Vinny and makeup.
It was so badass. It was just it was great. They really were awesome. And the Plasmatics opened up.
Oh, wow.
I was 13 and my mind has been, forever warped because of that show.
Right.
Yeah. It really was great.
Do you remember your first Kiss record?
Yeah. I think I probably got, probably Love Gun. I think that must have been the first one. Yeah.
Do you remember where you were?
Living in Traverse City, Michigan at the time, Yeah.
Oh, I always tell the stories. Like, I remember when I got my first Kiss record, I was 4. It was Christmas Eve, 1976. And we were living in the trailer park, and it was called, what the fuck was the trailer park called? I can't remember what the trailer park was called. I remember the Kiss record, but I don't remember the trailer park. Outside of Wade Park, Minnesota, outside of St. Cloud. And it's like, I remember I put it on and I jump up on the couch and I'm doing the Gene pose, like the cover of the record. And it must have been one of those things where we were walking through a Shopko, and when they had a record department in a Shopko, and I'm like, Mommy, what's that? And then boom, she bought me the fucking Kiss Destroyer record. That's how it always starts.
Destroyer, what a classic album.
Oh my God.
That warped more minds. That album cover warped more minds than I'll ever even reach.
Oh, I know, dude.
Great stuff. But I have an interesting opinion in that I know that you guys were doing this 80s Kiss podcast.
Yeah.
It is my belief, and it's just my opinion, but I am a firm believer that the Vinnie Vincent era of Kiss gets far too little credit, and specifically his contribution to Kiss was cannot be overstated. Frankly, he really did bring them back to relevancy, and he does not get the credit I feel he deserves, as well as those tours, Creatures and the Lick It Up tour. Those were some of the best performances of some of even the older material. It really did, that lineup of Eric Carr, Vinnie Vincent, Paul and Gene. It was like Kiss entering a new era, more of a metal. It was definitely more of a metal show. And I honestly, I must say, even going back and listening to it with my cynical ears of today, Vinny, his guitar playing in Kiss was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was. But
I'm not really into anything he did post Kiss,
right.
But in Kiss, his guitar playing was stellar.
I liked his guitar playing on the records, but like the live clips, like he just overplays live. It's like
overplays.
Oh
really?
God, yeah. Oh God, dude.
I mean, you think in Kiss he was overplaying?
Oh my God, dude. I mean, what? Look, watch Dr. Love from fucking Brazil. You know, but that solo, it's like, dude, bends.
Yeah,
simple.
I appreciate it. I appreciate what
cheers,
he
by the way.
took it to a different. Yeah, cheers, absolutely. I really do believe he took it to a higher, hotter level, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves, as well as I think that he's been unfairly maligned in the eyes of certainly Kiss themselves. The Paul and Gene have maligned him in the press for years, and I mean his contribution cannot be overstated. If you look at the writing credits of those records, I mean, he is equal to their own contribution. And I don't believe any member of Kiss since or other than the original four has contributed more to the band than Vinnie Vincent.
Oh, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. And I think they liked obviously they liked his playing. That's why they hired him. But I mean, there was always those rumors back in the 70s where they're trying to get Eddie Van Halen. They wanted a Van Halen clone, and he was Van Halen on steroids.
I found him to be a lot more in common with someone like Randy Rhoads. Maybe Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. But then, I mean, but if you listen past, like, Asylum is my favorite non-makeup record. And Bruce is playing on that. There's a lot of Halen stuff in there. Like the song I'm Alive is like, dude, that sounds like a fucking Van Halen song with Paul singing. You know?
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. See, we can all get along. But I tell you what, your love for Vinny, if you get to do three sides of the coin, you'll fit in very, very nicely.
I mean, that era is they were just smoking. They were on fire. They really were, metal Kiss, and at the time, I mean, I mentioned, I'm from Detroit, born in the 70s. I got a chance to see a lot of great metal bands in their prime, and Kiss was definitely one of them. And I consider myself lucky to have seen those shows. I mean, I saw Metallica with Cliff. I saw, I got to see a lot of great shows. And my dad was really cool to take a 13-year-old me and my friends to these shows. I was lucky.
Yeah, dude, and that's a beauty thing about growing up, especially in the Midwest. I mean, we could see the shows pretty cheap. It's like my first show was Monsters of Rock, Van Halen, Scorpions, Doc, and Metallica, Kingdom Come.
Sure. Great.
Floor seats at the Metrodome was $25.
Oh, the good old days, right?
The best, and this is the best part, because it was the summer between my freshman and sophomore year, and my mom waited in line to get our tickets at the record store. I mean,
right.
but yeah, it's like you said you do come from a musical background. Your mom had a a record deal. What were you brought up listening to?
Gosh, well, what it's funny, the first record that I ever bought on my own without the influence of my parents was Elvis Presley. And I
damn it, I can't turn it right. Ah!
Oh, nice TCB, baby. That's right. Taking care of business. That's right.
I used to do Elvis shows too.
Oh, that's super cool. Super cool. Yeah, I was crushed when he died. I was 6 years old, 7 years old. I cried for 4 days, crushed. But it was right around then. And, I think I went from Elvis to Kiss. If you want to know the truth, I think I literally did go.
Are you my older brother? Cause it's just right there.
That's so awesome, man. That's great. Too funny.
I know. Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with the King. And actually, now that I think about it, next month, I don't know what the day of the week it is, but 16th, it's obviously the anniversary of the death.
Right.
That will be the Elvis Drunken Summit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So if you want to join us, man, you're more than welcome.
Absolutely. Man, I'm a fan. I'm still a fan. I mean,
Yeah.
I have the comeback special.
Of course.
The TV comeback. That's
of course.
Great.
I tell you what, this is the story about that. So I do the Monsters of Rock cruise. I host karaoke on that. I do a cruiser jam on that cruise, but we do all of their cruises. So we do the Moody Blues cruise and Cruise of the Edge, which is the Yes and all the prog bands, right? So a couple years ago, they let me do the 68 comeback black leather sit down show number 1. And my band was the Richie Kotzen's drummer playing on we mic'd up a plastic folding chair because DJ on that played on an empty acoustic guitar case.
Yeah, right.
That was the closest thing we could find at the time. A couple guys from this flamenco metal band called Heavy Mellow. Fucking amazing. I'll send you the shit, dude. It is amazing.
Oh, that's great.
And then so those two were playing guitar, but then my lead guitar player, my Scotty Moore, was Frank Hannon from Tesla.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great.
And there's me.
Great player.
Were you a Tesla guy?
Sure. Great band. I like songs. I'm a big fan of songs and songwriters. And, that was a band that had great songs.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think they did themselves any favors by aligning themselves so closely with the metal scene that was so big at the time. I mean, they had management that was, I think they had like Metallica's management for a while.
Yeah.
And, so I think that proved to probably not serve them so well because I don't think they're at all metal,
No, they're just a great fucking hard rock band.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed this out to me, and now it bugs the shit out of me that every time he listens to Tesla and hears Jeff sing, he thinks of Cartman. South Park.
Yeah.
Dude, next time you hear it, just think about it and go, oh, fuck. God damn it. It still doesn't ruin it for me. Go into the chat room. Bruce checking in from Canada. Got to play his drop. 2 things you'll never hear a guitar player say: dude, I was overplaying, and can my solo be shorter? And he goes, Izzy, kiss Elvis. This guy could be your cousin. So absolutely true.
There you go. Cut from the same cloth. Midwest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can talk 80s metal all fucking night, but I mean, before we get into this, first half of the show brought to you by Beater Amplification. That's 2E's beateramplification.com. You see that beautiful beater head sitting right behind me. Hand-wired, hand-built out of Mankato, Minnesota. 3 channels, 100 watts of testicular fortitude pull-to tubes, and you got yourself a 50. These things are so good. That motherboard is in Marshalls and huge studios all over the country. People don't even know they're playing through that motherfucker. It is tone central, simple fucking boner. Beateramplification.com. And our good friends over at Mackie. You want to get into home recording, you want to get into podcasting, check out Mackie.com, Mackie, and check out the studio bundles. Very affordable way to get into it. I'm running through their Mackie condenser mic. I'm running through the Big Knob Studio Plus. I got the headphones, the whole 9 yards. These guys are amazing. Hit them up, Mackie, M-A-C-K-A. M-A-C-K-I-E. Jack must be hitting me. .com. So I want to get into your stuff like before you got into the real world. What were you doing before, and how did it come onto your radar?
Well, I, it's funny, the band that I was in on the Real World, Reigndance, was basically my high school band. The guys I went to high school with, for the most part, the drummer and the guitarist and other singer, were guys I grew up with. Dean Fertitta, was, was my fourth grade chum, my friend since the fourth grade, and Dean's gone on to be in some huge bands. He's in the Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh wow, badass.
Yeah, Dean's been a member of the Queens for 12 years now, and he's also in the Dead Weather, Jack White's Dead Weather.
Okay.
So he's done a lot of he's gone on to some real awesome projects. Bob is a programmer up in San Francisco, or not San Francisco, but Cupertino, for Apple. He's a programmer at Apple now. So yeah, that band, we moved to New Jersey in 1990, and after playing the Detroit scene for a few years, right out of high school, and we moved to the New York area, to be where the action was.
Right.
And a year later, I moved into the Loft to be on the Real World.
Why the East Coast instead of Los Angeles?
Well, because the East Coast was a 12-hour drive, and Los Angeles, and Los Angeles was the other side of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you wish you could have came out here and experienced that though?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I could have. It's funny. My mom moved to Simi Valley when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
And I was on my own from that point on. I could have moved out here, but I was in a band that had, things going on, shows, and so I chose to stay in my life, but certainly, I'd been, I came out to LA regularly during that whole time, and loved it, and got to go to the Rainbow and and got to see the LA in the 80s. I did get to see it. I didn't get to participate in it until the 90s, but I got to see it in the 80s. And it was a lot of fun,
Oh, of course. Well, dude, you could have did the Slash and Steve Adler thing and just dressed in drag and went into the fucking Rainbow on night, when they were 14.
Yeah, no, I really could have too. I was a very pretty boy at the time.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking about, it's like, I saw the picture of you, when you were on the show, and then I see you now. It's like you went from Shannon Hoon to George Lynch.
Yeah, a little bit.
Was it culture shock coming out here?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I've been here since '97, and I'd been, as I mentioned, my mom lived out here, and at the time, all throughout the show on the Real World, I had a girlfriend out here, so I'd been coming out here consistently, regularly throughout. But yes, it was a bit of a when I finally did move in '97. It was tough. I'm not going to lie. It was the hardest year of my life, for a multitude of reasons. But it was a bit of a shock. There were a lot of things that I was not quite prepared for, and yeah, I mean, everyone. I think a lot of people experience that same difficulty their first year in LA, and I was not immune to this at all.
Dude, September 1st will be 7 years for me, and it's still
Only
still
7.
a struggle. Yeah.
Wow, I've been here like 23 years now. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I want to okay, before when you heard about this Real World thing, how did you hear about it, and what were your initial thoughts on? Because reality TV was not a thing then.
That's right. It wasn't a thing at all. Well, what they told me, so my sister, my older sister, worked for EMI Records in New York, and they were going around, the casting directors were going around to record labels and ad agencies and places that young people worked. You know, kind of hip places. You know, they were definitely searching for a type of, you know, mover and shaker. We'll just say that. So when a friend of hers recommended me to the casting director, and they called me, they sold it to me as a documentary style television show that would feature the, you know, what goes on a day in the life, you know. And you know, they were aware of my band and all of the things that that went on. They wanted a little more of you know, personal drama and sex life, love life. I mean, you know, it's funny because we did get to, you know, we did share some of that, but all of us were very, you know, close to the cuff, you know, very close to the vest when in regards to our love lives. We as a result, they ended up, you know, learning a lot from the first cast, and subsequently did not choose people like ourselves for the most part. You know, looking for more of a well, we'll just say looking for something else.
Right. Did you go into it thinking, I was like, all right, cool, this is an opportunity to get my name out there, get my band's name out there, and I'll be able to maybe piggyback this for a few years. What happened after?
Well, that's exactly what my intention was, to, you know, use it as a way in. And at the time, 1992, it was not exactly it was not a great vehicle for music, you know, for your average person to get into, to discover and learn about a new band. The MTV soap opera, the new MTV soap opera, was not the coolest thing to advertise where you found out about your new obsession, your new musical obsession. And at the time, Nirvana was absolutely number one on the airwaves, and they were, you know, if you recall, not exactly in favor of anything corporate or anything that sort of could be perceived as less than punk rock. And you know, I mean, we were perceived as you know, maybe a bit of a prefab kind of thing, and you know, that there was a bit of a backlash when we shopped it around. You know, we liked independent labels, and we had no problem being on an independent. We enjoyed it, but you know, it was always a problem that we could not follow up the success of the Real World with a success of our own that was as big or remarkable.
Right. Do you think it might have been because you're now a TV guy that maybe it wouldn't cross over? Because a lot of times, you know, people, I'm sure a lot of people considered you like an actor. You're a TV personality now. A lot of times they try to make that crossover and it just doesn't work, even though that's what you were doing before that.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I was never an actor. And,
right. No, I wasn't accusing you.
Oh, I know. It's exactly the thing. You're absolutely right. And the fact that, you know, that the perception was that you were anything less than what I, you know, really was a very serious musician that, you know, only had aspirations in music. You know, I did not. And as a result, I have some stories that I could tell that, you know, I had a lot of opportunities that came my way after the Real World that I turned down, probably pretty foolishly, just right out the box, because I'm a musician.
Right. Well, like what? I mean, what did you turn down? Can you talk about this stuff?
Well, yeah, sure. I can. when Stephen Meisel called to be a part of Madonna's sex book.
Oh my God, King! My God, he was supposed to be in the sex book, King. Going to Jim Ross every once in a while too. It's just anyway. So you got offered a part in the fucking Madonna sex book.
No, I shouldn't make it seem like it was a done deal. But
right.
you know, it was. You know, I did meet them in New York. Not Madonna, but the photographer, and I could have pursued it. I didn't. I didn't pursue Ridley Scott's office when they called to inquire if I would be willing to come down for a meeting to test something or other. It's those things that I'm just like, what was I thinking? Like, of course I should have followed up with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, hold on. How did they present the Madonna sex book to you? This is interesting as hell to me.
Well, it was one of his assistants called through. He must have got my number through the production company that did The Real World, and they just said, "Hey, would you be willing to meet with us to discuss a new project Madonna's doing?" And so they told us what it was going to be, and I again, it wasn't something that I should have pursued it. I don't know that I would have been, gotten it, but the fact that I just kind of was blowing things off like that because I wanted to be taken more seriously as a musician was foolish in retrospect.
I just sent you something in the chat here. My buddy Tony, you might know him as Raul from Kansas City, told me to say hi. And he sent me that picture. You guys did 100,000 years in that band?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We kicked ass in 100,000 years.
Oh my God! I mean, this is funny because it always comes back to Kiss. That has to be like one of my top 5 Kiss fucking songs ever. That Ace solo is so fucking cool. Wait, were you doing the live version?
Absolutely.
Yeah!
Absolutely.
Yeah!
Do you feel right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Full drum solo?
No.
Oh, come on! That's your chance to get off stage and have a drink and do other stuff.
No. You
get
don't
a blowjob during that fucking drum solo. That's what it's there for. All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a short break, and we'll come back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. 2 and 2. My Chuck Woolery there. And we'll get into the brand new record, which is called Wrong Within on the EMP label. Andre Comeau. This is fucking great, man. We can talk for hours. Okay, hold on. Before we go, so Bruce checking in again from Canada. Every day I tweet at Kevin Smith to cast me in the new Twilight of the Mallrats movie that he's going to be making. And he goes, does he know Kevin Smith? Make some call.
I don't know Kevin. I don't know.
Damn
Kevin.
it. All right, we'll be back.
No, I should, because I lived in New Jersey for years, so it seems like I should know.
Right? And just so you know, because I knew you were from Detroit, that's why I busted out my North Stars green and gold.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to say anything.
Dude, just be happy I didn't bust out my my Blackhawks Secord sweater.
Ronick.
Oh, God, he was so good, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right, we'll talk some hockey.
All right. Sounds good.
2 minutes, 2 seconds. It is another fucking podcast. All right, we're muted. Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Fuck music, alright? If you want to download music for free, that's fine. Pay for porn, because the last thing that we need in this country is the porn industry to stop making movies that we can all enjoy because they're not making money. We can live without music. We cannot live without porn. Thank you, America.
All right, and we are back. Second half of the show brought to you by A&P Laser. Yes, Mother's Day and Father's Day are done, but we're stuck in our houses. You want a nice flask? Hit up our boys at aplaser.com. Yes, the Another Effing Podcast roadie packs will be available again. There will be a flask, there will be a Zippo, dog tags, and a big old fucking coffee tumbler that you can fill with more whiskey, just like that goes in your flask, because what else would you do, right? Anyways, aplaser.com. These guys are so good they can even laser engrave a hot dog bun. I have seen it done. aplaser.com. And our good friend John Palumbo at John Palumbo Design. You have a band, you have a business, you need a website done, you need a banner done, you need a logo done. Hit up our good buddy John Palumbo, johnpalumbodesign.com. Andre Comeau still with us, talking off the air about fucking Minnesota bands and touring routes. And I can't believe, did you ever, you were talking about Tina and the B-sides. Did you ever cross paths with Flip? Was Flip ever on your radar?
No.
That shocks me. Flip actually, they were on MTV. They won the unsigned band contest, and they got to open for Zombie in Detroit.
Oh, great.
Something like that. But dude, I'll send you some of the Flip shit. You'll love it. So now you are on the EMP label group with my good friends in the Killer Dwarfs and a lot of other people. The brand new record, the EP is called Wrong Within. How long have you been working on this, and how did you get in touch with those guys?
Well, it's funny. I stopped playing rock music in the early 2000s, pretty much completely. I've always, played acoustic guitar. I write on acoustic guitar. And at the time, rock had moved into an area that I was just not fond of. And I lost interest. And at the same time, discovered a lot of acoustic music, specifically, bluegrass, and some of the players in that genre are just so incredible. Really, just such virtue, such a the level of playing in Nashville in general is just so high. So I kind of got really into acoustic music and folk music, and had a band here, recorded many, 3-4 records, put them out to a largely apathetic Los Angeles audience.
No.
The folk and country is really not the kind of thing that really was a big deal. And of course, right around the same time that I started falling out of that, not that I'm really getting out of it, but it just didn't have the same newness, is when it started to become a little more popular here, and the alt country scene actually started to be a thing as I was sort of exiting.
Wait, hold on, time out. There was an alt country scene here?
Sure, on the east side, the Grand Ole Echo.
Okay.
There's a
All
lot
right.
of
All right.
there's a lot of east side country stuff, as well as things like in Culver City. There are a few bars there. There are some places that really go for it, as well as like Pappy and Harriet's out in Pioneer Town and Palm Springs, and some certainly enough to keep going with it, even if you didn't think. I did it for 15 years. Knocked around here and enjoyed it immensely, but what happened was I wrote a couple of rock songs that I just had to flesh out as a writer and as an artist. I can't. I have to scratch the itch.
Yeah.
And so when I put the band together to record the songs, I was just loving it. I had so much fun that I think right around the same week that we were recording, I had the opportunity to play Bordner's in Hollywood, and and we did some other shows, and it was like, this is great. We're just gonna keep doing this. And I put River Rouge, my folk band, on hiatus. At really a bad time. I had just released an EP, and I just lost interest. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do rock.
It happens.
I just want to do rock, and that was it. And ever since then, I've been doing the rock. At which time, when we finished it, I was talking to a friend of mine about labels, and he recommended me to Tom Hazard over at EMP, whom I had met back in the early 2000s when he was still at a label here in Los Angeles, working A&R at a label, and I was, doing the folk thing. But we had talked, and and then to find out, that he's doing this hard rock label, and I have a hard rock album, and it just all worked out.
Nice. Well, I was gonna say your Flip is actually one of your EMP label mates.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. I'm so surprised that I did not run into that band.
Dude, you would love it. Cheap Trick meets the Sex Pistols with the Kiss stage show.
Okay, yeah.
What more do you fucking want? Anyways, just a side note, we were talking about country in LA. I think there's a lot of closet country fans out here. People don't like to admit it because it's not cool to admit you like country in Los Angeles. But I found there's a lot of country fans out here. They just don't talk about it publicly.
I don't know how you couldn't be a fan of Hank Williams Sr. His songs are going to live forever.
Yep.
Forever.
No, absolutely.
His songs will, he's been dead for 50 years. Mm-hmm. His songs will be around for 500 more years after he's gone. I mean, how could you not be a fan of some of the greatest songs ever written, some of the greatest artists ever live, and certainly as a guitar player, some of the greatest players that are alive today are playing
absolutely
music.
Dude, absolutely. Well, yeah, we just lost Charlie fucking Daniels, and people don't realize how, one, influential that guy was, two, how country that motherfucker was. Yeah, because we heard Devil Went Down to Georgia on the rock stations all the time. Dude, he was a fucking country guy.
Yeah, well, he played in some rock bands too. I don't know if you know that. He played in a band, must have been in the 70s, with a guitar player named Roy Buchanan. And I don't know if you're familiar with any of Roy's stuff.
The name sounds familiar.
What an amazing tone this guy was. I mean, this guy had a tone that was just piercing, and his whole style, he was a stunning guitar player. He was really amazing. And I believe Charlie Daniels sang in his rock band, which I have a couple of songs. They released a box set many years ago, and I picked it up. But some of the greatest players, and even guys that you don't think are going to be that good, are fucking incredible. Like, who's the guy that's married to, Vince Gill, who's in the Eagles. What an amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
What an amazing guitar player this guy is.
Dude, yeah, you guys
so underrated.
You guys out there, you can rip on country all you want. If you're a musician and you can't listen to that and you go, Jesus fucking Christ, I quit.
Yeah. They're the best. They're the best.
I know, and there's just so much stuff. Like, everybody rips on Garth. Like, what? How? The songs.
Yeah.
The
No.
songs. It's songwriting. It's storytelling at its fucking finest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So the album's out. The EP's out. Correct?
Yeah. Yep. Finally. Well, we were. It was originally slated for an earlier release, but then the lockdown happened, and we delayed it as long as we could. And I'm glad it's out. In spite of the fact that we can't really tour to promote it or play shows or anything.
Right.
I'm happy that it's out, because it's, we did have to change our whole strategy to doing a more online presence. We're going to be doing a live streaming event in early August.
Oh, nice.
And we'll be doing, some videos and then just going right back into the studio to record the full length, which hopefully will be out in the early next year. I mean,
nice.
We're already halfway finished with half of it. So, I mean,
nice.
I'm super excited
Are you going to do vinyl on that one?
Oh, I absolutely.
Did you ever release anything else on vinyl?
No.
So this is like a dream.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
I've been, I've wanted to release vinyl ever since, my first album, which was 93. Reigdance's first album came out in 93.
And that was like right when vinyl was going out.
Exactly.
I can say,
we had it licensed in 4 different countries. It was on Rough Trade in Germany. It was in Japan. And, everyone always said, well, we intend on, putting this to vinyl at some point. Everything fell through. So no, I've never been on vinyl, and I'm really jealous.
I am lucky I can say that I am on vinyl, because I do stand up as well. And Don Jameson recorded his last record out here at a speakeasy, and I introed him. So my voice is on vinyl.
That counts.
Yeah, it counts. I think my picture's on it too. I haven't actually seen the vinyl yet, but I think my picture's in there. So there you go. Being in, I mean, it's not just with this COVID stuff. Just in the technology era that we are in. Podcasting, as you know, everybody has a fucking podcast, hence the name Another Fucking Podcast, because anybody can do it. Anybody can record from home. Anybody can put shit out.
Yeah.
But the bad part is that anybody can put shit out. So there's just so much stuff out there. Going into this and releasing stuff, does that make it even harder for you?
No, because I've just been doing the same thing I've done since the 90s, releasing music that, writing, recording, and releasing music that I want to put out.
Right.
So, I mean, yes, there's a glut of it, and yes, it's hard it's hard to rise above the noise of everybody else, but I think if it's good enough, it will be heard.
Right. No, that's a good point. One thing I did want to ask you about, and this is very important because you are on the publishing side of music as well, which a lot of people might not know. It's up on YouTube. We haven't officially released it because I haven't secured the license on it yet. But we just did a cover of Tender Years from Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh, great.
And how does one, for anybody out there listening that they're trying to do their quarantine projects because we're all fucking cooped up, how does one properly release a cover song?
Well, you can record any song you want. You can record anything, and you don't have to have anybody's permission to record it.
Right.
To release it, however, you have to pay out.
Right.
Depending on the number of the price for something like that depends on how many you intend on either selling or printing. And if it's going to be a massive release, that license, that the rate's going to be pretty high. But I'm not sure. I if you're talking about a cover that you want to just post on like YouTube or something, that might be a little tricky. You would have to have the permission of the publisher.
Right. Well, I know you have to go into the publishing. You have to pay all that stuff. I was just trying to, for people listening, I was trying to get a, just to explain it a little bit, because a lot of people, I'm still learning how it works.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to release it as a proper release, but I mean, it's a fucking cover song from a lot of people that people don't know, and it's not a huge fucking gimmick,
Right.
So it's not.
If you're only going to do like 1,000 copies, it's a pretty negligible sum.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just kind of curious. How did you get into the publishing side, the back side of music?
Well, I'll tell you, when Reigndance got our first publishing deal with Warner Chappell, our lawyer at the time, not the guy that we actually ended up doing the deal with, but this lawyer that we were working with gave us some very good advice, and he insisted and actually procured for us 4 copies of Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald Passman, which has been, the go-to sort of Bible for the music business for many years. They do a revised version every year. And he actually insisted that we read through chapters X through Z, and that we get some sort of understanding of what we're getting involved in. And it was a great learning experience. And when I moved to Los Angeles, I started working for a music supervisor, at which point, when that dried up, when they often work contract jobs, and once the job is over, you're pretty much done.
Right.
When that particular duty had dried up, I went to a huge independent publisher called Bug Music, and I was a creative there for a lot of years. And I've been doing it ever since, working in the film and TV creative department.
Did you? Yeah, it brought you back to TV.
Yeah,
it's
crazy,
funny.
right?
It's the whole circle.
Can't get away from it. Can't get away
Right.
from it.
Are you just? I mean, are like, as far as the TV side goes, are you creating music for television, or are you just licensing stuff?
Yeah, no. I work for a company that has a large catalog of music, authentic music from around the world, and we supply music supervisors with music for their projects.
Gotcha. Lori checking in from Australia really late, says good evening. Scotty checking in from Canada, so we'll play this again. And Jennifer checking in late as well, talking to the people in the room and not to us. But she goes, I never really watched The Real World, but maybe I will now. Funny. That's
Don't bother. Just buy the album.
Right? I tell you what, though, not to go back to that, it was, I remember it was always on after Beavis and Butthead, I believe.
Yeah, I'd watch Beavis and Butthead, I'll tell you that much.
Are you happy there was no social media at that time?
Oh my God, yes. Ugh. I'm so relieved. I mean, I wowould have been crucified. I think a lot of people would have been. It's sort of an unforgiving time. And at the time, I was a 20-year-old big mouth who shot his mouth off a lot. And nowadays, some of the things I'm sure that I said, could have gotten me blacklisted or
yeah.
I mean,
well, and that's the, I guess that's the beauty thing, is because all that stuff, you can't find it. You can't find it. You go on YouTube, you put in Real World Season 1, you can't find it. Because if anybody that posts that, and Eddie Trunk always says this, that like people try to post that metal show stuff,
yeah,
and Viacom takes it down like that. It's like, dude, it's not even on fucking TV.
Yeah,
That's right. And it's not available anywhere.
They should do something with their archives. The fact that they haven't done anything, it just seems that someone's asleep at the wheel, because it's a huge source of money.
All right. Well, and there's that thing too. It's like, there's people at my age that we watched it when it was there, and you can't see it anymore.
That's
You know?
right. And
Like-
and we are the age group that would be interested in, is still interested in rock, for that matter, guitar music.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the younger generation, not so much.
Right. Okay, so Scotty's kind of asking something we kind of touched base on before, but I want to ask it because he's listening. He goes, I'm not sure if it's been asked, but was being on a reality show helpful or a hinder to the musical progression?
Oh, both. There's no two ways about it. For exposure, it was great. I mean,
right.
We were a kind of, a young nobody band that all of a sudden was thrust into the major spotlight. And we were afforded massive exposure, and we got to tour the world and release 3 records, and publishing deals. We made the most of it, and it was great. But sure, it had its drawbacks as well. We weren't taken as seriously. We were often lumped in with things that that we clearly weren't.
Right.
Can't cry over spilled milk, right?
Right. Do you still run into that today?
Not so much. I mean, occasionally only people my age would sometimes recognize me.
Right.
I walk around in anonymity nowadays. And my hair, I'm not exactly looking like I used to look either.
Well, right. Like I said, you went from Shannon Hoon to George Lynch. You got George Lynch's hairdo right now. What can I say?
I don't know what George Lynch looks like, but
well, he slicks it more back, but it's about the same length, and you kind of look like him a little bit.
Okay, all right.
And if you could play guitar like him, God bless you.
He's a good guitar player.
Yeah, a little bit. People want to find you online. Where can they find you?
Oh, we're all over. The album's out. It's everywhere. It's on iTunes and elsewhere. Amazon and YouTube and everywhere.
Excellent, man. Well, hold on. We're going to say goodbye off the air. Andrew Comeau. Dude, this is a blast, man. And next month we'll do the fucking Elvis one.
Yeah, I'm totally down.
Love it. All right, let me hit the Black Diamond outro live from Detroit, 1984. I think
no.
Animalize. Animalize. Yeah, Animalize live.
No, 84 would have been Lick It Up.
No, 83 would have been Lick It Up. 84 would have been Analyze because Asylum was 85.
Okay, well, I was on all of them, so I don't know.
So hold on. I'm going to pause this for 1 second.
Yeah.
You were at Comeau Hall.
Yeah.
Queensryche opening up.
Oh, yeah.
When they recorded the MTV.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
Were there. I mean, okay. Time out. Did you realize how fucking fast they were playing at the time?
Oh, totally. Well, their tempos were super fast with Eric Carr. They were super fast with Vinny in the band as well. But that show, it seemed like, the tempos were pretty out of control. You gotta kind of makes you wonder a little bit, right?
Well, I guess, we watched Largo 1980. It would have been Unmasked. And this is my thing with Eric Carr. As great as he was a Bonham guy.
Totally.
He was a Zeppelin guy. He couldn't swing like Peter Criss.
True.
And for the most part of that show, it was fine. But there was some songs like Firehouse, and when they were doing Firehouse and Largo, it was it's like, well, why you play so fucking fast?
Yeah, very, very fast. So here's the deal. So a lot of the early Kiss songs, and we're talking about, for the most part, a lot of these songs we've all heard so many times. How many times can we hear Cold Gin? How many times can we hear Firehouse? How many times?
Right.
Literally, I would prefer any number of songs, even from those first 3 records, to those songs that we've all heard played way too many times.
Right.
Firehouse, Cold Gin, all these songs.
Yeah.
And so, I would imagine Eric Carr would have had to speed it up just to make it interesting, given how many times that they played some of those older songs. Yes, he didn't have the same swing as Peter.
Right.
And yes, maybe even some of the other songs from those first 3 records they wouldn't have done so well, wouldn't have done the way that the original band did them. I mean, the original band was a cool thing, but what they evolved into and what they, even while they were still the original four members, I think that, you know, when they recorded Destroyer with Bob Ezrin, it really underscored the need for a drummer who was more versatile, who was more rock. And that's when, if you notice, that's when they started, you know, right after that, not quite right after, but after that, they did their solo albums and they were playing with different people. They played with different people on Kiss records even. And
well, that was because Peter was fucked up.
Well, but it wasn't just because of that. I mean, it was because he couldn't play. So he probably got fucked up because he couldn't play what they wanted. And so, you know, I think that what Eric Carr and Vinnie Vincent, again, not as
all comes back to Vinnie.
Yeah, you know, what they brought was a new era in Kiss.
Right.
And I think that when Vinnie left, or when Vinnie was kicked out, I think that Eric Carr tried to continue that same sort of drivingness that Vinnie brought to the band, and it wasn't the same. It wasn't as good. It wasn't as metal. Let's be honest. It wasn't as metal as what they were doing during the Creatures of the Night and Lick It Up tours. You know, because if you have a chance, go to YouTube and look up some of those soundboard recordings from those tours, because they are bad-ass. Some of the very best performances I've ever heard from Kiss were from that tour, and it's and you know, maybe it's special to me because they are so new, just energized is the word I would. You could hear it. You could hear it in Paul's performance. You could hear it in they were just so energized and exciting and excited. And I think they may have lost some of that. You know, even given you know, they had a lot of success after that period as well. Certainly even more than the Creatures Lick It Up era, but it wasn't as good. You know, the albums weren't as good. And it started to get a little pretty cheesy with you know, I mean, I'm not a fan of Crazy. I must say I had to hang it up after Crazy Nights was, well, no, I guess Hot in the Shade was the last tour I saw.
But that was a great show.
And it was a great show. It was a great show because the Crazy Nights tour I saw prior to that wasn't so great. And I was pretty disappointed in that. And that was sort of the beginning of the end for me, where I was like, I'm kind of, I can only go so far. And I was probably moving into a heavier sort of Soundgarden-y, Nirvana thing for me as well. Anyways, so, but yeah, no. I as you can tell, me and my friends have given far too much thought to Kiss.
That's what we do. That is what we do. And Kiss non-makeup, I'm going to say this, and Revenge, as great as it is, completely overrated.
So overrated. I can't get into that album at all. I don't like it at all. Look, I'm a Paul Stanley fan.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Paul Stanley. I think he's amazing. And I don't think he's written anything worth listening to in way too long.
I mean, Revenge is that record where Gene was like, oh yeah,
a couple of songs.
Came back. Well, I mean, it's different for me because I love Gene's stuff in the 80s. I love it.
I like it, but
I love it, dude. Any way you slice it, I don't care. Say what you want about Burn Bitch Burn. It rules. But you know, you got fucking Unholy. You got Thou Shalt Not. I mean, there's some heavy Gene shit on there.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's good, but it's not. It's lacking the element that I follow Kiss in the first place. Paul's songs are just not up to snuff, and if his songs aren't up to snuff, I have an inherent distaste for it. You know, it's sad.
I love it. I love it. Dude, we can talk Kiss all night. Andrew Comeau, thank you so much. Hang on, we're going to say goodbye off the air. Let me restart my Black Diamond outro. This has been a blast. Speaking of Kiss, Tuesday night, Kiss solo record conversation. It is going to be a good time. We will actually be putting together our very own Kiss solo records best of, as if Kiss had recorded it. And if you want to do that, send it in, or we'll just fucking bring you on for it. I don't care, man. Whatever, it's up to you. Scotty checking in says, I love all the Kiss talk. So many different perspectives. Great conversations. Please hit up the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, the show page is another fucking podcast, another effing podcast. Buy t-shirts. The brand new jersey shirts will be available very, very, very soon. And of course, if you want to donate the show, izzypresley at yahoo.com. This has been a good time. Make sure you check out his brand new record, which is called Wrong Within. It's on the EMP label group. My name is Izzy Presley, and don't forget, what I lack in talent, I make up for in cock.